East Report with James Dorsey on Sabahul Muslim.
Morning, James. How are you doing this morning?
Good morning. I'm doing well. Pleasure to be with you.
Thank you for joining us. Cristiano Ronaldo's move to Saudi Arabia is about much more than football.
Absolutely. Obviously, it's going to boost Saudi football and put the Saudi league on the world map. But for Saudi Arabia, it's about much more. It's about, and it's not just what some critics call sports washing, with other words, trying to distract from what is an abominable human rights record. It's about trying to erase the past in the sense of Saudi Arabia was this country that was a secretive, closed kingdom, medieval practices in the minds of some people because women weren't allowed to drive, funding an ultra-conservative interpretation of Islam that many saw as a breeding ground for violence. All of that Saudi Arabia is trying to put behind it. And Ronaldo contributes to that. And in fact, what he has publicly said is that that's how he sees his role.
Interesting. Dubai removes tax on alcohol.
Indeed. So Dubai obviously benefited last month from the World Cup. Many fans decided that they would base themselves in Dubai and fly into Qatar for World Cup matches because Dubai is a much more freewheeling city than Doha is. But at the same time, Dubai particularly, but the UAE in general, is feeling the competition, both from Doha, but much more so even from Saudi Arabia, which is trying to establish itself as the hub for anything and everything in the Gulf. And so in the competition for talent and the competition for tourists, Dubai is making a number of moves, including for the coming year, eliminating the tax on alcohol to see how that goes. And it's rolled out, on top of that, an $8 trillion economic plan to sustain its position in the Middle East as a trade and tourist hub. It's
really disturbing to see the extent to which these nations would go for this. In criticism of China's crackdown on the Xinjiang, on Islam and the Turkic Muslims, Turkey says it won't become a Chinese propaganda tool.
Absolutely. So Turkey's essentially been the main backer of Uyghur, at least cultural rights, if not national rights, in the northwestern Chinese province of Xinjiang. The Uyghurs are Turkic Muslims, and Turkey is home to the largest Uyghur exile community. And so therefore, Turkey's walked with China a very delicate line between supporting Uyghur rights, but at the same time not irritating the Chinese. Since 2019, the two countries have been discussing a Turkish delegation visiting the program for the visit. And the of China, it has to be an independent investigation. It'll be interesting to see how China responds, given that it just appointed a new foreign minister, its former ambassador in Washington, who's been a proponent of what the Chinese call wolf warrior diplomacy, which is a very confrontational and coercive response to any form of criticism.
Low Gulf tourism to Israel suggests problems confronting Arab states with a relation with Israel's new hardline Israeli government settles in.
Well, that's, of course, particularly relevant at the moment, given the uproar over the visit of the new Israeli National Security Minister, a far-right politician, Itamar Ben-Gvir, who this week paid a visit to the Haram al-Sharif, or Temple Mount, which is viewed as highly provocative in the Muslim world. The response has been condemnation of that visit. But if you then go back and look at 2 years of contact between, for example, the United Arab Emirates and Israel since they established diplomatic relations in 2020, there are about 150,000 Israelis who in the last 2 years have visited the UAE. There are only 1,600 travelers from the UAE who have visited Israel. So that, in the context also of public opinion polls showing that the popularity of having established relations with Israel in countries like the UAE, as well as Bahrain, for example, has nosedived, going in the UAE from something like 41% to 25%, and similar figures in Bahrain. So those tourism figures are important and indicative of what the public mood is.
Certainly we'll watch out for that, James. Thank you very much for your time this morning.
My pleasure, as always.
Well, bye-bye. You can check out James' articles on www.jamesmdorsey.net. Also, listeners can subscribe to James' newsletter blog, The Turbulent World of Middle East Soccer. So those are the ways in which you can get in touch with James.